For the AFC East heavyweight matchup, Miami versus Buffalo. This time in Orchard Park, Saturday night, Miami. They took round one. The Finns are on a two-game skid, though, during a tough stretch in their schedule, and Buffalo won't have Von Miller from here on out. So the Dolphins, as I mentioned, struggled mightily when they traveled to Buffalo. Miami 0-5 in their last 5 games in Buffalo and have struggled on the road this season, posting a 3-4 record on a -10 turnover differential. So the Dolphins have lost 8 straight games with a kickoff temperature of 40 or below, including the playoffs. And if anybody can appreciate the subject, it would be the softest New Yorker of all time. The man to my right, who has a snorkel on, or whatever you called it yesterday. He's got a turtleneck, he's got a jacket, and we're in studio, okay? So I'll just leave it with that, fellas. Nobody talks about the weather more. Stephen A. has a career in predicting the weather in his future. All right, all seriousness. Yes. Stephen A., will you be surprised if the Bills blow out the Finns?
Here's the pathetic part.
Okay.
That little tease, that little, lead into this question, you absolutely on point.
Yeah.
Because you know what I got in front of me on my iPad right now, fellas? You know what I looked up?
What?
The weather conditions.
I know, because you're a freak. Nobody talks
exactly what
about the weather more than you.
Hey, listen. Listen, I'm just telling you, the perfect time to think about me is the cold weather. I'm home. I ain't moving. You understand what I'm saying? Got my fireplace rolling. It's important to me to be warm. That's just how I roll.
Yeah.
It's going to be 25 degrees.
Yeah.
It's 25 degrees, okay? Now, the bottom line is this. I never root against Miami. I never root against Miami. I mean the Dolphins. I never root against Miami, but I mean the Dolphins here. The point I'm trying to make is this. It's not that cold in South Beach. It's not that cold near South Beach. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. These weather conditions matter. Yeah. Now, it don't matter to Tyreek Hill, who was in Kansas City all these years. He's going to be just fine. Everybody else, it's just, you should know this. You appreciate it. I mean, you the one walking on the beach all the time when you in California looking to get out there as much as you possibly can, buddy. You understand what I'm saying?
In the sand
it's
and
all it
everything.
is. I know the Buffalo Bills.
Business?
I know the Buffalo. She does it to me, Ryan. She does it to me. The point is this.
I wasn't even listening to him. I just have to say one thing. I'm so angry at Stephen A. right now.
She's disgusted at me about something. She's disgusted at me about something that I can't reveal.
I can't reveal just yet.
I can't reveal just yet, but she's very angry at me. The point is this, y'all.
And I like your sweater, Ryan.
The Buffalo Bills, I'm sure she likes your wardrobe. The Buffalo Bills they got vengeance on their mind. They feel like they shouldn't have lost to Miami. We see Josh Allen, what he's capable of. Stephon Diggs trying to remind everybody who the hell he is. Gabe Davis, Singletary's running the football effectively. And their defense is upgrading. They're getting a bit healthier. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. I would not be surprised at a blowout at all, not just because of what I just mentioned, but because the weather conditions, I don't expect Miami to be what we've been seeing from them all year long.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, everything is working against the Dolphins in this game, obviously. But I think, I'm going back to my NFL roots. I think coming off a 2-game slid, now, sometimes things happen. They might get blown out. Very rarely does teams get blown out in the NFL. That's number one. And two, I just think with 2 back-to-back losses, Mike McDaniel and this coaching staff and this team kind of had to go back to ground zero and try to figure out what they need to do in order to get better. I think they're going to put up a good battle. Now, when we get into win and we get into elements and we talk about Tua and his ability to push the ball downfield, that's all TBD. And obviously, it's like I said, it's not working for them. But to say that it's just going to be a blowout with the division, the importance of this game, them coming off a 2-game skid, trying to kind of recalibrate and become the team that everybody thought they were, there is no greater opportunity for the Miami Dolphins in this particular situation. And they hear us talking about it. They hear everybody talking about it. I'm sure they're talking about the weather and how that's supposed to affect them. And sometimes you can rally around those things. Sometimes it don't matter. Sometimes Mike Tyson standing across from you and he gonna catch you with a right hook and you going to sleep. It don't matter how many times you prepare. It don't matter who you sparred with. It don't matter if you took some good drink before you got in the ring and you figured out how you was going to try to sustain against Mike Tyson. Sometimes it just don't. Sometimes he might even bite your ear, okay? Sometimes that might happen. But as far as the Miami Dolphins go, As far as the Miami Dolphins go, I do believe that they are going to be a better team than we've seen the past 2 weeks. If I believe anything about some of those dudes on that roster and their coach with some experience about offense and how it's kind of been handed to Mike McDaniel between San Francisco and obviously the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
I expect Miami to play well. I don't think it's a blowout. I don't think they winning, but I don't think it's a blowout.
The reason you go out and you get Tyreek Hill and you understand why Jalen Waddle is so important and Sherfield and also the backs and Wilson and Mostert is for times like this, where you don't know if Tua Tagovailoa is going to look like Mac Jones looked last year when he only threw 3 passes in Buffalo because of the weather. You think to yourself, let's get the football out of our quarterback's hand and get it to these athletes in space. A big reason why this team hasn't played well the last 2 weeks is because Mike McDaniel fell in love with the pass game. Maybe he gets back to the run against the Buffalo Bills. Maybe he finds ways to just get to, whether it's quick screens or quick games off of RPO, to get the football into Tyreek's hand and to Jalen Waddle's hands and allow them to get yards after the catch. I think this is going to be a recalibration for the Miami Dolphins, and I believe it does come based on the weather and the last 2 weeks. What we've seen is teams adjust to what the Miami Dolphins were doing well, which is give you a lot of motion. Make sure you had to be in off coverage so Tyreek and Jalen Waddle and these wide receivers had all of the space to work. We watched those things adjust in the last 2 weeks. So now, what is the second creation of this Mike McDaniel offense, like we always see Kyle Shanahan come up with something else? And I believe that's what this week is about. Is the weather going to affect them? Absolutely. Because when you don't play in it a lot, when you don't practice in it a lot, you don't get used to adjusting your game to these type of conditions. That will play a factor. But what's going to play the biggest factor is practice, is preparation, and execution. And whoever executes the best wins, no matter what the weather conditions are. You just have to make sure you're more focused on that than you are standing by the heater on the sideline.
Okay.
And Stephen A.
You have a fabulous weekend.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yep,
he's got to go. You got a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday in studio. Playmakers, save your cardio for then. We'll get the sweat on.
Bye, man. Where the hell you going?
Marcus, you can finish your thought on the other side of the commercial break. I have some breaking news for you guys on the other side as well in the NFL. Still to come. The San Francisco 49ers rock and roll into the playoffs with last night's win over the Seahawks. But who else from the NFC will join them? I got a surprise for you guys. Please stay. And things are heating up as Micah Parsons staying 10 toes down as his comments about Jalen Hurts is the Dallas-Philly rivalry the best in football. We debate it next. Oh, introduction. There he is. Straight out of Detroit, Michigan. You're looking real Detroit right now.
Merry Christmas.
Oh
Thank you. I like these.
What up, Joe?
I like these.
Thank you.
I like these.
Quite the